Hey, welcome to Financial Revelations. I am David Safransky, your one and only host. There should never be another host. There may be at some point in time, but right now, I'm the guy. You can reach me at SkiBucks1 at Twitter. You can call here, 800-344-2534. Questions to Corey at EPSF, all running below me. And I'm on WCRF 103.3 in Cleveland every Thursday morning from 8 to 9, and I'm now on in Nashville also. Who knows, maybe I'm soon to be syndicated. Should be. We're working out those dates, when it's going to happen, but you could also go to the Moody app and listen anytime that you want. Moody Radio has an app. They catalog all the episodes that I'm on, just in case people want to go back and listen to it. I don't know if anybody ever does. We're also having a workshop April 16th at 6 p.m. in Elyria, Ohio. Now, you got to call the office to make a reservation. It's $15 a person. All the proceeds, 100%, go to support the Amazon mission trip, and we'll talk about that mission trip while we're there. We're also going to talk about investing in a presidential election year because there are things to think about. Every election is important. Every presidential election is important. Every midterm election is important. When you think about just the judges that the president appoints, those federal judges could be on the bench. They're on the bench for their lifetimes. So for however long they live, they're on the bench. That's a long time for a lot of these people. Look at the changes in the Supreme Court that Trump initiated. Got 3 Supreme Court justices in those 4 years. That's a really big deal. It's what changed Roe v. Wade, which was bad law. By the way, abortion isn't legal, for those of you who think it is. It just went back to the states, which is where it should have been. It's always been bad law. And as you're seeing the lawfare, the warfare via law, we call it lawfare, that the DOJ is perpetrating and against Donald Trump, and these states are perpetrating against Donald Trump. It's time to fight back. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to fight back. The AG of Texas is going to sue Hunter Biden for overvaluing his artwork. I love that. Don't take this stuff sitting down. We must fight back. We're going to talk about those things Tuesday, April 16th. I want you to be there. You got to call the office, though, to make a reservation, and you got to pay in advance. Otherwise, people don't show. We plan for people to be there. So if you say, hey, I'm going to be there, and you write your $15 check, absent extraordinary circumstances, that money's going to the Amazon. So you can also, if you're interested in the Amazon, we have a website, nativosusa.org, also running below me. It's you can see pictures on there. You can see stories of the missionaries that are there. We're going to update the page as time goes on. We're all busy people, so I like to put pictures of the trips on there because it makes it real to people. It's so awesome to go to this part of the world that most people don't even know exists, wouldn't know exists. It doesn't make, I didn't know it existed before I went there, so don't feel bad. But to put a footprint in the muddy bank of the Amazon River, to swim in it, to see the people, to provide a fresh water well for somebody who's never in their lifetimes had fresh water to drink. I took it for granted. You turn on your tap or you hit your light switch and things happen. It's not like that. So we have to meet a need, and the need is fresh water. And in meeting that need, we were able to access the village and put missionaries in the village, which they want. And we're not changing their culture. We're just bringing them Jesus, who they call Tupana. Tupana is God in their language. And Tupana will bless them, just like God will bless you and bless us. And if you do nothing else, pray for the trip. It's going to be June 14th through the 26th. We've got a bunch of people going. We're planning a trip for next year already. You could be on that trip if you want to go. The travel is awesome. It's so cool to go there and just be part of this thing and sleep in a hammock and wake up in the jungle. We're on the river. We don't actually, we're not like traipsing through the jungle or anything like that, but the boat has showers and flush toilets, and we would like you to take a shower every day. They're private. My wife goes. Bring shower shoes. It's a good idea. I could drive by a gym barefoot and get athlete's foot, so I wear shower shoes everywhere, except for my own shower. But it's Holy Week. People will be celebrating a Seder meal. My church does a love feast. I won't be there for it this year. Good Friday is this week. The markets are closed on Good Friday. People are starting to prepare for Easter Sunday and everything that represents to our Christian faith. And it's a big deal. You're going to be with family and friends. There's going to be good food and you're going to celebrate. And my advice to people on times like this is it's okay to slow down and rest a little bit. Take some time and rest and be with family and literally count your blessings. We've done things at Easter where we write down. I did this the last year my dad was alive. I'm so glad we did this. We just took a little piece of paper when people came in and we wrote down something we were thankful for and we read it during dinner. It's a small thing. It's an easy thing. Anybody could come up with something that they're thankful for. My wife has been in Florida for 3 months and she wanted a winter in Florida and I've gone back and forth to Vero Beach and I'm thankful that she's coming home. I'm also thankful that I had this time and that she had the time. I'll admit I was a little lazy around the house and I got 3 projects done last week or this past weekend just because I thought, man, if she comes home and that's not done, I'm going to hear about it. So I got the ladder out and I'm a handy guy. I got a lot of tools. I got some things done. We're getting the cabinets painted finally. We've been in our house for 10 years. Things get nicked up. We had kids and dogs and company and it's just how it goes. So, but I want you to do something. I want you to respectfully talk politics this weekend with people. And why do I want you to do that? Let people know. Everybody knows about inflation. All you got to do is go to the grocery store. The CPI, there's going to be an inflation number come out Friday morning. It's going to kind of come out into a vacuum because the markets are closed, but I'll be paying attention. And if it's a hot number, the Fed's in a dilemma. We've talked about this endlessly. I'm sick of talking about the Fed. I really am. I live the Fed, but I know you don't. You live. It's my world, and so I think about it endlessly, constantly, read about it, talk about it, hear about it. But if that number comes out hot, the Fed's in trouble. I think the Fed's in trouble. Talk about inflation with people. Talk about immigration. We, as conservatives, I'm a conservative. I don't know if you knew that or not. Politically, I'm conservative. Socially, I'm conservative. Financially, I'm conservative. Investment-wise, I am a little bit different because I understand the markets and I have time. So the more time that you have, the more growth-oriented that you can be. Some people would say aggressive, but I don't like that term because I think it brings negative connotations with it. I want to grow. I don't want to be unnecessarily aggressive. I don't want to be stupid with my money. I want to be wise with it. I want to be growth-oriented. But as conservatives, we get a bad rap. Oh, you hate immigrants. You're a xenophobe. No, we don't hate immigrants. That's stupid. When people say that, I want to... We are people of the rule of law. We enjoy legal immigration. We need immigrants. We need people to come here. And if all these illegal immigrants are going to help our economy and enhance our nation, why don't they do that in their nation? If your first act of coming to my country, to your country, is to become a felon, to break the law and come here illegally, we don't want you. But we do want you if you're willing to come here legally and you have a skill that we need. And by the way, if somebody comes here and they say, well, I'm a communist, we don't want you. We don't need to let you in this country. We don't. If you're a communist, go be a communist someplace else. If you're a socialist, get the hell out of here. We don't want you. We're capitalists here. If in a world where you could be anything, be a free market capitalist. It's the kindest thing that you could be. It lifts people up. It provides a living for them. It provides hope for them, a future. Capitalism has dragged more people out of poverty than any financial system ever in the history of mankind. Socialism and socialism light like Europe has right now And communism destroys people. It destroys lives. It destroys the psyche. It destroys your motivation. In Sweden, you can't own private property. Everybody owns the property. It destroys people. You wonder why those countries are never going to be as great as the United States? That's why. Because they're socialists. And if two things have to be possible in capitalism. One possibility is you have to be able to be successful beyond all of your wildest imaginations. It has to be a possibility. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like, I'm successful. God has blessed me tremendously. I don't drive a Lamborghini or have a house in Miami Beach, but I am blessed beyond all I ever thought was possible. The other thing that has to be possible is I have to be able to fail. Failure is an important lesson. I've learned as much out of failure as I have success, and I failed at practically everything I've ever done. It has to be possible. So I want you to talk about politics. I want you to talk about how bad inflation is and who caused it. Joe Biden caused it. I want you to talk about the illegal immigration, how it's ruining our country. And I want you to talk about the stupidity of gender politics, about how they're willing to allow kids to take puberty blockers in school, but you can't have an aspirin. That's stupidity. The things that we're dealing with now, they're stupid and they need to be called out, and we cannot sit on the sidelines and hope for something better to happen. The market's going pretty good. I'm going to talk a little bit about the markets. I have a little bit of a cough. I'm sorry. The market's excited about Trump. Trump is up 30 points in the economy, on immigration, on the rule of law. 30 points he's ahead. There's other things where he's closer. There's a couple things where he's underwater on. I think that Donald Trump is going to be our next president. And why is the market excited? Because they're excited about capitalism. He's a capitalist. You may not like his personality. I don't care if you don't like his personality. We were way better off under Trump. The world was a safer place under Trump. I'm excited about realistic regulation. We don't hate regulation, but it's got to be realistic. The Federal Trade Commission right now sinks every merger possible. And so what happens? People go out of business. You're either going to merge or go out of business in some instances. We're seeing this with JetBlue and Spirit. JetBlue basically cut off service in a lot of places. They just can't afford to do it. A non-weaponized Department of Justice. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. It seems like the Department of Justice is totally weaponized. And you're seeing it against Trump right now. And that makes people mad. Sorry about that. That makes people mad when they weaponize the Department of Justice and create lawfare. It's not right. It's decidedly un-American. This is the thing that banana republics do. They say, well, Trump's going to put all of his opponents in jail. Well, he didn't do it before, but that's what the Biden administration is trying to do. I personally think the FBI and the CIA need a restart of some kind. Now, we know it's not going to happen under Joe Biden because he's weaponized the Department of Justice, which is the FBI. The CIA is allowed legally to break the law, and these people are afraid of these intelligence operations. They're afraid that they're going to come after them as Americans, and that's not right. It started, I was 100% for the Patriot Act when it happened, because we had been attacked on 9/11. It was traumatic. It was, how could we let this happen? And so we enabled all these special powers to the CIA and the NSA and the FBI, and they've never been taken away, even though we're not on a war footing anymore. Now, I realize we need intelligence agencies. I'm not, I understand that. We do. I was in the Army. I saw intelligence and how it worked and everything. But when it gets weaponized against the United States itself, against our own citizens, something is wrong. And I don't know how that's going to work, but we need to do a restart on these guys. They're so tilted to the left. And I don't want them to be left or right. I want them to be benefiting the United States instead of what they're doing now. I think it's just un-American. I want you to go to a website. Corey's going to put this up behind me. It's called Bidenomics.com. Bidenomics.com will allow you to read for yourself what's going on since Biden has been president. Put it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Start reaching. You know, we were passive last election because we're like, well, if we like Donald Trump, people aren't going to like us. I don't care anymore. With what we've been through in the last 3.5 years, I don't care if people don't like me because I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. I tell people I'm going to vote like people in Chicago vote. I'm going to vote for him 8 times. I'm not really going to do that. I don't do that. In Ohio, you have to present an ID to vote, and I've never thought it was racist. I think when people say, well, it's racist to require people to get an ID to vote, what you're saying is you think that minorities are stupid. You're the racist. I think people in America are pretty smart. They can figure out how to get an ID. Most people have an ID. You'd have to have an ID to vote. Voting should go on for 1 week, and you should have to request a mail-in ballot if you're not going to be able to go to the polls. Some people can't get out of their house. Okay? It's got to be signed and dated and in by this date or it doesn't count. I'm sorry. We have rules. These are elections. This is not a joke. And I want you to get involved. I want you to stop. And I'm taking this advice myself, okay? I'm not telling you to do something I'm unwilling to do. I hate when people do that. That's called hypocrisy. I remember in the Army, I was in the Army, and people would say, well, I want you to go do this. They've never done it. They're unwilling to do it. They couldn't do it, but they want me to do it. Now, if Sergeant Griswold or Sergeant Rehorst told me to do it, they were already caked in mud. I knew they would do it, but they wanted me to do it. I gladly do. I do it anyway because I took orders. But I want to be able to respect the people that are telling me to do something. And I'm telling you to get involved. Stop sitting by and watching it happen. We got to go make it happen. We got to knock on doors and be willing to volunteer and make phone calls and give money to some politicians that are going to carry us in a way. You know, Bernie Moreno is going to run against Sherrod Brown. Sherrod Brown is vulnerable. Sherrod Brown has got a degree in Russian studies. Coincidence? No. Is he a nice person personally? Yeah, he is. I was his neighbor for a while. Personally, I like him. Politically, I could never vote for him. Would I break bread with him? Yeah, I would. I've sat with him in the United Club in Cleveland and talked to him. Very nice person, but politically I could never vote for him. He's as far left as you get. He's part of the reason we have inflation right now, and he's the universal basic income guy. We don't want that. That's not America. In America, we go earn it, okay? It's all right if you don't start a business, if you work someplace and you help them build something, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a great thing. However, America is about earning our keep. We earn our keep. I have a listener question, and it was very appropriate for what I'm talking about today. And the listener question is it possible for a Christian to vote for Trump? And my answer is it possible for a Christian to vote any other way? Is it possible for a Christian to not vote for Trump? And my answer is no. It is not possible. A Christian can... This drives my wife crazy. I drive my wife crazy. I'm a hard person to be married to. I'm slightly opinionated. I don't think you could be a Christian and vote for a Democrat right now. I don't. They're killing our kids. They're destroying their personalities. They're not about life. They're about death right now. And I know I'm going out on a limb here, and some people are going to be mad at me, but you could be mad at me. We could still break bread and shake hands. I don't want to hurt people. I'm not a vindictive person. I'm not a resentful person. But we got to take back what is rightfully ours. Legally, we got to take it back. We take it back with the voting. We take it back at the ballot box. That's where we start. And then we put people in place that are going to uphold the standards and the values of America. And that is capitalism, free markets, and the right to fail and the right to succeed. That's what we're for. That's what we do. We've always done that. I could not have done what I've done in any other country. They would not let me. You know, in Canada right now, Canada used to be a free country. It is not anymore. You could go to jail for your opinion in Canada. They're arresting people for their opinions on Facebook. In Canada, don't support Canada. Don't move to Canada. Don't buy products from Canada. They're basically turning into a socialist country. We're it. Nobody's coming to save us. It's on you and me to save us. Who's going to come and help us? Nobody. We're it. We're the last vestige of hope. We're it. You're not going anywhere if this falls. We got to do it right here. And that's what I'm asking you to do. I am David Safransky, a real American. I am a real American, a true red-blooded patriot. And I want you to be a true red-blooded patriot also along with me, and the voice you can trust.